when I was in office, suddenly this incredible crisis happened. So we depend a lot on the American consumers. So we are exporting more than 80% of our total export are coming to the States. So imagine when the American market went down that year, 2009, and the whole economy went down. This big elephant went down exactly over us. So the Mexican economy went down like at that time maybe at a speed of 10% negative, the first and the second quarter of 2009. So what we did is, the short term, a lot of countercyclical measures. So we increased dramatically public expenditure and some practical measures as well. For instance, we reached an agreement between the workers, the unions, the companies in particular in manufacturing sector, exporting to US, automotive industry, appliances, others. And for instance, if the worker accepted to receive 1/3 less in his or her salary, and the company accepted to pay other third of their salary instead of fire them, the government accepted to pay the other third of the salary by 6 months only. But in that way, we saved 500,000 jobs in the export-oriented sector in Mexico. Well, once we saw that the crisis was overcoming, we changed the strategy. We designed an exit strategy in order to close the deficit, because we were seeing that the markets were so nervous about the debt. So I follow a very old recipe, which is reduce your expenditures and increase your revenues. I raise taxes with very high political costs. I reduce public expenditure. I close a very inefficient state-owned company and utility, and save for public finances more than $5 billion a year. So we fix the macroeconomic, but we decide if we are paying this cost, let's improve the competitiveness once for all. So we invested in schools, as I said. In particular, we were looking for better trained people, engineers, technicians, and so these 140 new universities, tuition-free, are more oriented to technical skills. We invested a lot with private money in infrastructure in Mexico. More than we built more roads than the 2 previous administrations together. We opened the economy completely. 0 tariff, for instance, in a lot of industries. So if you want to produce a smartphone or a vehicle, you can do that in Mexico and bring in home all the inputs from abroad, from a chip to an engine to whatever. So in that sense, Mexico became quite competitive. I mentioned that when I took office, Mexico was the 9th largest exporter of vehicles in the world. Currently, when I left office, Mexico was the 4th largest exporter, overpassing the United States, the UK, Spain, and probably next year Mexico will be the 3rd largest exporter of vehicles in the world. So you can imagine how many jobs, how productive those areas became. So it's a gaining game, to say that. So Mexico became a quite important exporter. Just to say one figure, Mexico is exporting more manufactured products than the rest of the countries of Latin America and the Caribbean combined. So including Brazil, for instance. So it's a real machine.